I can't say it enough. I said it many times. I would vote for his head in a jar of blue liquid over Donald Trump. But that doesn't mean that I'm not. First of all, I think it's a moot point at this point.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna fucking lose.
Who, Biden?
Yes.
No, you're wrong.
No.
They're absolutely panicked. Sorry, the clip ends up getting cut there. They go into just this utterly pointless discussion. It's nothing important, but I just wanted you to see that because, as you can see, even liberals like Bill Maher are recognizing the inevitable here. The Democrats put all of their eggs in the single basket of taking Trump out through their lawfare, through their weaponized legalism. And now they're realizing, to their absolute horror, that it's actually making Trump even stronger. And liberals like Bill Maher, that just came out this weekend, they're having freaking panic attacks. It is glorious to see. Hey, gang, greetings. It is me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here for you with a special live stream Monday. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. Hey, if you're on Rumble, go to YouTube and subscribe there. If you're on YouTube, go to Rumble and subscribe there. Let's have some cross-pollination to boost both of our channels. We've got our exclusive backstage private Q&A tonight if you'd like to join in and ask me your questions. My shirt, look at that. I have a weird, almost kind of salmon pinkish red that's not doing very well next to this beautiful dark wine red or red wine cloth here. Forgive me, my aesthetic sense is getting the best of me. Sorry. We got our exclusive backstage private Q&A tonight. If you'd like to join our virtual platform and ask me your questions, all you got to do is just click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com. All you have to do is sign up for any level of support, and you'll be given your own backstage pass to ask me anything you like. Just click on that link below, become a supporter at any level there, and we will transition to our private virtual platform where you have fellowship with hundreds of your own kin, your own patriot ilk, and you can ask me any question that you like. We will be going there in mere moments and have the most wonderful patriot fellowship together. Gang, as the dust continues to clear here from Thursday night's venomous verdict coming out of Manhattan, which is just a shell of the city that it used to be. I grew up just outside of New York City in Connecticut. Two of our neighbors took the train into Manhattan every day. Manhattan, of course, is just going the way of all the other blue cities across the country. They're all morally and socially collapsing. They're keeling over as we speak, as is everything that's associated with the Democrats. But as the dust clears from the vile vermin of a verdict, it's becoming increasingly clear, even to Democrats, that the verdict is actually having the opposite effect that they had banked their hopes on for, almost 2 years now. Now, you have to remember, you have to put yourself in the shoes of someone like ABC's George Stephanopoulos, right? Bill Clinton's old attack dog lackey. You have to respect the fact that Democrats actually had a pretty good plan if you went by the polling. The polling and the conventional wisdom that was operative. All the polls, literally all of them, showed that were Trump convicted, were he to become officially a convicted felon, his lead over Biden would collapse. He would literally overnight end up losing about 10 points of support. You'd have, female voters in the suburbs all basically go, I can never vote for him. That's terrible. Convicted felon, never. That's what virtually every poll out there showed. That's what the Democrats were banking their hopes on. Every poll showed that Trump, upon conviction, would lose a massive amount of his support, and Biden would cruise to victory in November. And here we are, after a full weekend of Trump assuming his new moniker as the first former president convicted felon. And keep in mind, the very people in the legacy media, the very left-wing activists disguised as journalists, and I'm going to show you, here's a perfect example how you know they're left-wing activists disguised as journalists. Every single one of them who gleefully declare Trump to be a convicted felon are the same ones that refuse to say the term illegal alien. You notice that? Convicted felon, undocumented worker. They're left-wing activists disguised as journalists. Keep in mind now, here we are, a full 4 days after the conviction. And now the first major polls are coming out. The good ones, right? The ones that have actually valid methodology behind them. Not these flash polls and so. The first major polls, the good ones, are all coming out post-verdict. And they're basically showing the same thing. The latest TIP poll, the TIPP poll out there, which had Biden up by 2 in their last poll from last week. It had Biden up 2 in their head-to-head national poll. Take a look. Take a look. Trump has gained since the verdict. He's gained 2 points since their last poll. Trump has gained post-verdict. That's being corroborated by the latest Harris X poll that has Trump now up by 1. He's a +1. He's actually gained a point since the verdict. And he's +2 if you factor in the other candidates, Kennedy, West, and Stein. And in the latest Morning Consult poll, he is also gained. It's now 44-43, Trump. Red Eagle Politics summarizes it very well for us. Since the verdict, we've had 4 major polls, and Trump has gained in 3 of them. 3 of the 4. Since the verdict, we've had 4 major polls, and Trump has gained. I'm going to say that again. He has gained support post-verdict in 3 of the 4. Trump is more popular post-verdict than he was pre-verdict. I mean, gang, look at the latest coming out of North Carolina. This is crazy. This is North Star Open. This is an American Greatness poll. This is post-verdict. Trump is up 8 head-to-head, and he's up 12 in a 5-way race. 12, gang. And his state Democrats thought they could win weeks back. They thought North Carolina was in play a couple of months back. Gang, that's called blowback. That's called backlash. That's boomerang. And then on top of that, there's the fundraising. Now, I don't even know what to say about this. Okay, you ready for... We did... My first video today was entitled The $200 Million Verdict Backlash, right? That's the total that Trump has raised going into January since May 30th, since the verdict. Okay, now, in fairness, 100 mil is coming from one source, all right, a billionaire heiress that is giving some money there. But did you see the Trump campaign release the totals of what they got for the month of May? So there is some overlap there for at least, 24-hour overlap. For the month of May, the Trump campaign raised, get this, over $141 million. $141 million just for the month of May. You can basically add another 100 mil to that. What happened with the extra fundraising from the billionaires over the last couple of days. But just for May, $141 billion. And then if you read down the fine print down at the bottom, they mention that other MAGA groups that are supporting President Trump, also on their own raised an additional $150 million. So all told, Trump and Trump supporting organizations have raised nearly $300 million in a single month. Gang, make no mistake, and I'm serious about this, make absolutely no mistake, the Democrats are quaking over that news. Again, based on, I've been reflecting on what their rationale was beyond just the polls. I think they were banking on another Billy Bush moment. Do you remember the Billy Bush tapes that were released back in 2016 in October? It was an October surprise. It's when Trump was talking, what do you call locker room talk with Billy Bush, and he's caught on hot mic, as it were. And you had Republican after sellout Republican after sellout Republican, all these self-righteous rhinos distancing themselves from Trump. Oh, I could never, ever support such a pig. That's so horrible. They demanded another Republican candidate. They called on Trump to resign and drop out of the race. It was pathetic. I think that's what the Democrats were expecting to come out of this sham, like Larry Hogan, right? Did you see Larry Hogan, the Maryland former governor, now running for the Senate? He'll probably get clobbered, by the way. Remember, just gubernatorial success is not an indicator for national success. Just ask Ron DeSantis, ask Chris Christie, right? Ask Scott Walker. Gubernatorial success is not an indicator for national success. And Larry Hogan is a scumbag. Larry Hogan is a ridiculous, pathetic scumbag that would line up with Democrats far more than he would line up with Republicans. Okay. But he's one of the few Republicans that won Maryland. Big freaking whoop when all said and done. But these Democrats were expecting Republicans to go full Larry Hogan. That's what it seems. They were expecting Republicans to distance themselves. They were going to see the poll drop, and then they would immediately, the next thing is they immediately distance themselves from Trump. And then you get all the remember Trump dropping the N-word, right? You get all of these supposedly, of course, we have no tapes to even verify that, but Trump dropping the N, you're going to get all of this disparaging, all these disparaging stories published in the media. Just, they're so predictable. It's pathetic. And by the way, why shouldn't the Democrats have expected Republicans to turn on their own? That's the pattern of these feckless cowards that make up the vast majority of the Republican Party that we've grown so tired of and so used to over the years. But to their credit, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's the exact opposite. And ironically, since the Billy Bush tape since after he won in 2016, we've actually begun to see this time and time again. It's actually getting rather predictable at this point, and it seems conducive to something we've talked about before on this channel. It's been a while since we talked about it. It's a phenomenon that cultural anthropologists and sociologists talk about. It's technically, well, the principle is external threats breed internal solidarity. External threats breed internal solidarity. It's what's technically known as the process of segmentary oppositions. That's the goofy pinhead kind of term that's associated with the phenomenon of external threats breed internal solidarity. So, for example, as kids, my brother, I don't have a brother, but my fictional brother and I may fight all the time, right? We might be driving our mother crazy because all we do is fight, fight, fight. We just can't get along. And then all of a sudden our cousins come on over, and our cousins try to bully us. And what happens? My brother and I, who were just fighting before our cousin showed up, our bullying cousin showed up, my brother and I end up banding together against this threat from the outside. This external threat breeds internal solidarity. You've heard the numerous occasions of a drunk couple fighting, right? A drunk husband and wife, or just a boyfriend and girlfriend. They're making this scene. Someone calls the police. The police show up, and what happens? Right? The pair that were about to come to blows with each other end up banding together against the police. It's the same principle, and scholars have noticed that you can keep going with this principle. You can scale it. If my brother and my cousin, so right, my brother and I are always fighting. Our cousins come over, they threaten us, then we team up against our cousins. If we go outside, if our parents hate, they just throw us outside, and we go outside, and all of a sudden we get into a conflict with the neighbors' kids, the neighborhood kids. Well, then all of a sudden, my brother and my cousins, we all team up together against this new external threat. And if kids from another neighborhood come on over and want to try to get into a conflict with us, then all of a sudden, all the kids in my neighborhood, we're all fighting with each other. All of a sudden, we band together. You see, and on and on and on. External threats breed internal solidarity. So when you have the Democrats trying to take Trump out with this absurd and pathetic, vile verdict, when you have every single left-wing activist disguised as journalist try to gaslight what was an obvious political hit job via weaponized legalism, it was rather predictable that the Republican base would rally around their guy in a show of massive support and solidarity. But what's so fascinating, and I think what the Democrats are really freaked out over, is it appears even more than that. With the 30% of donations coming from first-time donors, it's pretty clear that even non-Republicans, independents, people who are generally not involved in politics, they're beginning to galvanize around Trump. And again, given the amount of people, the supermajority, who think that we live in a two-tier justice system, in many ways, this was inevitable. They were inevitably going to sympathize with Trump as a clear victim of the very system, the very two-tier system they denounce. And so they're galvanizing to his cause. And the Democrats never imagined in their worst nightmares that this would happen. It's pretty stunning stuff. And we're just in the fourth day in the aftermath of the verdict. All right, guys, I know you've got tons you want to talk about. So we're going to move on over to our exclusive Backstage virtual platform for Q&A. Remember, all you got to do to join our private exclusive Backstage Q&A is just click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com. Sign up for any level of support, and you'll be given your own Backstage pass to ask me anything you like. You are going to love the fellowship with your fellow patriots from all over the world. We talk about anything and everything of the new conservative age that's rising, the new civilizationalist world that's rising. So just click on that link below. Go to fight.turleytalks.com. Sign up for any level of support, and I'll see you over there in about 25 seconds. God bless.